So, what we've been witnessing the last couple of days is a public and historic meltdown of Elon Musk and Tesla. People often refer to Elon Musk as the richest person in the world. He bought the presidency, he's trying to buy elections in several companies. I want to go over this because it has so many ramifications to our lives. Check out these headlines today. Jewish nonprofit chief says Musk will spur violence with his mustache party salute. I'm sure you guys have all seen it by now. You also have this kind of headline: how the roots of the PayPal mafia extend to apartheid South Africa. And you have this: Elon Musk call for Germany to move beyond mustache party guilt is dangerous. And that's coming from the Holocaust Memorial Chair. And I'll try to break down everything as best I can so you understand this stuff. First, if you don't understand what they're talking about, PayPal Mafia things, it's basically there was a group of dudes, they were together, they all were actually from South Africa, and essentially they were forming PayPal together. They split, but they do maintain ties. And then now what's happening is those same group of people that were part of that PayPal company are buying up politics in various countries around the world. And that's essentially what we're seeing with Musk. The last just few hours, I've been noticing he's been tweeting nonstop about politics in Germany, which is pretty insane because essentially before, you might refer to someone as being, metaphorically part of that mustache party. But now with Musk, we're like talking more literally promoting mustache party stuff. And what does this do to your brand? And the reason why you have to talk about the brand is because you have to understand this. Musk's influence is based on his wealth, right? So his wealth being, hey, I'm a wealthy person. Then people say, oh, you're a wealthy person, therefore you must be a genius. You're a billionaire, therefore you must be really wise. Like there's some people who are attracted to money. They think money is God. And anyone who has money is like, the genius of all time. That's how some people think. Other people are like, okay, well, I've heard about you, you're famous, these kind of stuff. And he hypes himself up in his companies. And so part of what is the attractiveness of, say, Musk and Trump is they're really good at marketing hype. That's their talent. They're really good at marketing hype, but it's all a bubble. One of the things that Musk does, which you guys may or may not know, he has a bunch of assets in stock. Okay, so then he lives off lines of credit, basically borrows money against his stock, but his stock can fluctuate like crazy. It is very, very volatile. And when he does these kind of things where, basically out promoting mustache party kind of stuff, it turns off his initial fan base who bought his cars. And so one of the things that I was thinking about today is like, you could read this as one of two things: his basically moving into politics. Is it he's trying to save his company Tesla, right? Okay, if I buy the presidency, if I buy influence, if I buy, influence in Germany, UK, Canada, these kind of things, well, I can, convince governments around the world to give tax incentives and benefits to my companies, right? So are you trying to save your company, or moving away from Tesla, are you basically abandoning your company because it's over? You can't win. You got no new products coming out. All of your employees that, had some talent have left. And if you guys don't know, Tesla's been losing a lot of talent. These are the kind of things of becomes apparent when you see that they just don't have any new products, or the products that they do introduce, be it that robotaxi or humanoid robot, don't work, right? Or their pipe dreams vaporware that may never appear. And this is something that Musk has done before. There's a thing called a Roadster, which he announced a while ago. I don't know, it's like 8 years ago or something like that. I can't remember the date, to be perfectly frank. It's never arrived. And he'll do this quite a lot. He'll announce like these crazy features, crazy things, full self-driving. Another thing is like, hey, we got these awesome robot drivers. But it doesn't work as promised. Like before, he said a long time ago, you could drive from LA to New York and it'll take care of everything for you. But it's like, okay, so when's that going to happen? Or he promises people, you're all going to go to Mars and you're all going to be rich. So I'm going through these things because I have honestly never lived through something like this. I've heard about these kind of stuff in the history books, but to actually see it live and happening. This is him. He's tweeting out the leader of the AfD party, which is the far right. In Germany, this is just a few hours ago. That was the actual images from what it was. And it was funny because when people saw this, they were saying the same thing. And I was thinking, I was like, this is like Big Brother kind of stuff. He's tweeting out far right people. This is like an account named Naomi. I want you to listen just a little bit to Musk has to say, so you kind of sense, wow, this actually is real. Listen.
I am proud to be German. And it's okay to be proud to be German.
It's okay to be proud to be German. This is a very important principle. And it's okay, it's good to be proud of German culture, German values, and not to lose that in some sort of multiculturalism that dilutes everything.
Those words moved an entire nation today when Elon Musk said them out loud at the greatest AfD rally of all time.
So if you don't understand the dangers of the stuff that Musk tweets out nonstop, it basically boils down to trying to whitewash the past. These far-right movements, be it in the US, be it placed in Europe, even in Asia, it happens. They try to repaint bad things that happened in the past as being not so bad, being okay. You should be proud of it. And I'll just give you a couple simple examples. It'd be like people say, oh, you know what? We shouldn't change, the name of Christopher Columbus Day when we took the land for the Native Americans. We should like celebrate that the Europeans came and took the land, right? That's kind of the stuff that we're talking about. Or the people that, say in USA that want to rewrite textbooks, this happens in Florida, they'll be like, oh, well, we don't want to talk about the horrors of slavery. We want to show that slavery wasn't so bad. You'll get these arguments about like how to portray history. You'll see it in Japan where the people on the far right be like, well, World War II, Japan wasn't bad. We just invade other countries because we're trying to help them. Like I hope you guys understand the significance of like, say, in Germany, where, and this is just sort of how it is today. Generally speaking, when you talk about the Mustache Party, you talk about what happened in history. You teach it to students so they remember these things. You don't fly that flag, and me and myself, I don't say the name of the party. There's certain things that you just don't do, right? You want to learn from the past and don't repeat the same mistakes. And so then when the Musk come out and they basically say, oh, well, it wasn't so bad, we should be proud of the past, these kind of things, that's very dangerous. So the backlash against Musk is very real. You can see it in our community. People are saying it already. This is the new Volks Tesla. Another people in our community are calling Elon's cars swastikars, right? Elon's swastikars are finished. Do Teslas come with swastikas? Teslas are getting swastikas painted on the hoods, so better garage them. Where can you get the free swastika stickers? They're being called swastikars. Boycott them. It should be tough. They keep blowing up. On top of that, people are making jokes. And this is sort of, I'm showing you guys in our community where we can call the stuff out as you see it. Rumors say they will soon unveil their new Model SS. Just wait. He's coming out with the SS models. The new Tesla Model SS might be shelved. I'll draw the line with the Model SS and looking forward to the new Model SS. On top of that, another comment, which I thought was a really good one. Charlie says, Wall Street, these numbers are terrible. Elon Musk, don't worry, guys. It's all part of the plan. Wall Street, the plan is terrible. And that's what we're looking at with Elon Musk, right? So that's why I asked you guys before, is Elon Musk, is he trying to save his company? Or is he abandoning his company because he knows it's over? And if you understand, like, why is it important to follow in the company and the stock? It's because all his influence and wealth is based on the stock, which is based on hype. And you put all these things together, this guy is a house of cards. And so is his first buddy, Donald Trump. This was an interesting headline today, or opinion piece, I should say. The Donald and Elon show is an unholy mess. And speaking of that unholy mess, this was just breaking just a few minutes ago. I just saw this. Trump tried to deport some people from Colombia, used military planes. I think he sent 2 planes to Colombia. And then Colombia wouldn't let him enter, I guess. And so now Trump is saying, hey, we're going to have to do an emergency tariff of 25%. If you don't comply in the next couple of days, we're going to do another tariff, another 25%. So it's like, I guess we're doing 50% tariffs emergency. That's according to Trump. And it was really interesting to, read through this stuff because it sort of captures everything that the Trumps and Musk are trying to do. It's basically move that fast, break things, don't think carefully about anything that you do. And someone actually wrote a comment, interesting, which I think is a real common phrase. If all you have is a hammer, right? If that's the only tool in your arsenal, then you think every problem is a nail, right? And so you go around whacking stuff that you think is appropriate, but you have the wrong tools for the job, or you're grossly mismanaging the resources that you do have. And so what the Colombia president was basically saying, hey, if you do want to deport people, have some sort of procedures, be in contact with us, and do it with civilian flights. Don't do it with military flights. And on top of that, we've talked about this before, where Trump's use of military assets for deportations could be illegal. So we'll keep an eye on that story. And speaking of legality, that's essentially what Elon Musk and his team are doing every day. They're trying to skirt the law, push their power forward, even though it may be illegal. And effectively, we have to call these kind of things out. You'll get these kind of headlines. Elon Musk's business conflicts draw scrutiny amid White House role. Or something like this, where Elon tweeting out, "Hey, we got to get rid of bureaucracy. We have to cut regulations. Get rid of all that red tape." I'll give you an example of the kind of thing that he would want to do. It was like, okay, if you're working with the government, you want to have everything transparent. You want to release, all of the ways that you're doing things. You want to release any conflicts of interest. From us point of view, oh, that's just a regulation. We hate regulations that cost people money, right? So they want to remove transparency and they want to push the limits of what is legal, not legal, and you kind of see where this is going. It's actually ruffling a lot of feathers on Trump's side. Now, will Trump publicly say this, and will Trump publicly kick Elon Musk out of positions of power? I don't know. We're going to find out. I mean, I'll just say this: when you put a bunch of selfish, spoiled brats together in a room, they tend to fight and fight over the toy. Basically, it's like, it's my toy, it's my toy. That's essentially what I'm seeing with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Trump actually hired this person. They call her, her name is Susan Wiles. They call her the Ice Maiden. And I've been seeing various reports on this, okay? I'll give you the basic gist of it. So do you give Musk, full access to all the documents, right? Do you give Musk full access to the White House? He has an office right across the street in the Eisenhower building. But I've seen different reports on that. One report that refers to this one, she basically told people, okay, we need to make sure that everyone is, online and working, the same direction. You can't be off, doing your own thing. You can't be off trying to grab the spotlight from Trump. But Musk, he's kind of his own dude in the sense that he doesn't like to be told what to do. You can see it, right? And how he runs his companies. Kind of, if you don't know this, because I've been following the Musk story for a long time, there was be it at Twitter or Tesla, there's situations to where like Musk walks around the office and he's kind of having a demon mode day is sort of how they refer to him. And you just kind of keep your head down and, avoid the guy. Because if he approaches you and, you say the wrong thing, he'll just fire you on the spot. And that's actually been reported several times. It's a really, like I said, it's essentially like the spoiled brat, just like, oh, you took my toy and you're fired. That's how these people act. I put out these warnings for you guys because I want you to understand that not everyone behaves this way. This is not a great way to behave. And also, too, you're skirting the laws and you're dealing with a lot of things that are potentially very illegal and unconstitutional. That's why we're talking about this stuff. Lena Khan is already warning people about this move to, too much private equity, too much private control of these kind of things. And that's essentially what Musk represents, the oligarchy, right? She's warning, say, in healthcare, if that becomes all privatized, you're going to look at worse service and higher costs. She was just talking to the Financial Times about that. On top of that, Trump, I don't know. There's a lot of rumors about this stuff. There's people don't know what Trump means, and this is like literally what it says in reports. So say like Trump says all kinds of stuff, and it sounds like to me everyone's lining up to buy TikTok. They're trying to figure out the price of TikTok. I guess the Chinese government wants like $200 billion, which is really a lot. And to frame reference, Musk, I think he bought Twitter in like the 55 billion or something of that nature. So you're talking about like, 4 times the value, 3 to 4 times the value of TikTok. And then the other issue as well is like, okay, who gets control of the data? What kind of, structure can we have? Trump's trying to bring in, I guess, various private investors to take over TikTok. That's the latest rumors on that. It's actually quite interesting to read all of this stuff. I'll just say this. Whatever Trump does, he's looking to enrich himself, not necessarily you. Would we actually nationalize TikTok? That was someone brought up where it sounds like, is that what you're saying, Trump? We're going to nationalize TikTok? I was like, I don't know. And on top of that, I've noticed this on trending on Twitter, which is interesting. A couple of their big accounts have been hacked recently. For example, this guy's name is Dean Morris. He was an actor. He's in the show Breaking Bad, etc. And he was actually tweeting out that he was hacked.
Hey, this is Dean Morris, actually, and that whole crazy crypto was a complete fake scam. I was hacked, and I don't know, I just got it back.
Basically, what happens is like if you have a large account and a lot of people follow you, over, we'll say 500,000 followers, like a fairly large account. A hacker will hack you and then start promoting whatever crypto coin or crypto Ponzi that they want. And so this is him. He was making a video saying, "Hey, I've been hacked. It wasn't me. It's not the Ponzi. I wasn't promoting the Ponzi. It was some hackers." This is another one. This is just in the last couple of days. Ross Gerber's another these kind of person. This is like a fund manager, I guess you could call him. He was saying here, my account was hacked yesterday, right? This is just January 27th. This is one of the Tesla stock promoters. January 25th, they're saying, wow, I knew someone could hack my X account, but an individual did today. And then I guess that person pretended that to be Chris Evans, Captain America, and was then pumping crypto. I'm bringing this stuff up. Why am I mentioning the hacking and these kind of things? Because these kind of people first say, okay, when I'm hacked, someone please save me. Someone stole all my Bitcoin. Regulators, where were you? Why didn't you protect me? Like the kind of people that, hate regulations are the same kind of people that after they get scammed, they're like asking for the government to come bail them out. So you have that mentality. On top of that is, I want you to understand the how fragile data is, where say, for example, someone buys up TikTok and then the Chinese government's like, hey, we need the location of a particular person on TikTok, or hey, we want you to promote whatever particular mustache party messages to weaken America and get Americans fighting with each other. Like the importance of the TikTok deal and the amount of Americans on it, I think it's like some crazy number. I don't know if it's Americans or total users, but I've heard the numbers of like 177 people, a million people are on this thing. That's probably Americans, actually. It's probably quite a bit. But I keep hearing that number around. And so essentially what we're saying is like, it's got massive influence. Now, I don't want you to think, though, that there's nothing you can do. We're all powerless. I don't want you to have that impression. Because, for example, here in Korea, this was actually the big news just yesterday. It was Sunday night when they announced it. It says here, President Yoon indicted for insurrection over South Korea martial law decree. The basic gist of it is like, why is this important? Is depending on what you charge him with, then it comes with different penalties. So insurrection actually comes with capital punishment or several years in prison. Like, so they're talking about the highest level. I don't think they're gonna go for capital punishment or anything like that. I think they'll probably go for multiple years in prison. But I'm saying this is actually quite serious how they treat this sort of thing in Korea. If you haven't followed the story, basically he called for a legal military coup, called for a legal martial law. And Korea has a different history than, say, the USA or other countries. I keep pointing this out all the time. If you haven't seen this movie, please check it out. It's called 12/12 Today. It's about the military coup. Also see this movie 1987. It's about sort of like how this gangster culture in government, which is like a Trump, right, which is what you saw with Yoon, etc. we saw in Korea, and then how regular people stand up to that. And also see this movie, Bitcoin, which sort of covers this scam culture. When you put all these things together, I hope you get sort of why I'm mentioning it, because it'll make sense of how Trump's a combination of, Bitcoin scammer or crypto scammer. He's a combination of gangster, slumlord, and then you also have Elon Musk, who's basically then the used car salesman to push that kind of culture on to you. On top of that, our markets are actually really crazy right now. This was another headline. Foreigners are chasing U.S. stocks historically. That's a bad sign. So essentially what it was is, this is the chart here. This is by Yardini Research. They're saying a bunch of people from outside the country are pouring money into the U.S. because they're worried about their local markets. But when you start to see retail investors from various countries, and I can be like, for example, here in Korea, I've seen headlines on this. I know that many UK listings are leaving their market and coming to the U.S. We talked about this before on the channel. And Yardini was saying when you get these kind of signs, that's typically the top. And so it feels like that to me. That's why I've been warning you guys about this stuff. You'll get these kind of headlines as well. Big tech is spending billions on AI. How much time will Wall Street allow for the payoff? And then you go back to the Musk thing, which is the center of everything and understanding it all. Tesla stock is the most popular retail stock. So what does that mean? That means like if you're not an institutional investor but just a regular mom and pop investor, you know what Tesla is like it's just like really popular, and you're like, oh yeah, Elon's a genius, he's the richest person in the world, right? That's what a lot of regular people think. And you have to remember, again, that's why I have to go back to the beginning, to where Elon Musk, sort of fame and riches is based on hype and false promises, and sort of he's just good at marketing himself as being, quote, a genius. But then when you see these things that are really, really obvious, damaging to his brand and himself and also the world, be it that crazy mustache party salute, and now he's promoting this, far right stuff in Germany, and like tweeting out nonstop today about Germany. You're just like, okay, this is what a top of a bubble looks like. And they're actually going to report earnings in a couple of days. I think it's this week. I'll do a video on that, what they say. My wife and I, we covered it last earnings report, where it's funny because the way that Wall Street covers the earnings is very, very different than the way we do, because they only cover like a few parts, and they like cut out a whole bunch of stuff where basically Musk looks like an idiot and a fool, and it's obvious. Or you could also say Musk looks like, a total fraud. We'll cover this stuff as best we can, but I think when the Tesla bubble pops, it'll have ramifications to everything, because if his stock like sinks like a rock essentially, then he'll lose his influence. He'll lose this sort of like aura of quote genius / wealthy, richest person in the world. And because he's trying to buy all this influence everywhere, will everyone just to turn on him all of a sudden? That'll be an interesting thing to see. So I know we cover a lot when we talk about these things, but I just hope you understand why it's important, how we put this all together. And I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? And I'll catch you on the next video.